Alright, good morning everyone. So today we're going to be installing the new Remote IACV block for the 69 Camaro. The Whipple Superchargers 109mm throttle body doesn't have a provision for an idle air control valve. So I found this company that makes this 100% billet IACV block. It accepts a standard GM 4-pin off of just about any Gen 3 LS. So that'll allow us to plug directly into the Holley and it works just like factory. But we can mount this thing anywhere we want. It's a pretty simple setup. The top port here goes to the throttle body, and this goes to your intake, or if you put a separate filter on it, you could run that wherever you want. This just vents to atmosphere, and this is vacuum. So pretty cool little piece. It's a full billet machine. It's pretty nice. The seller was super easy to deal with. Super friendly, so I'll put a link to that in the description below. So today we're just going to try to get this installed to the blower here and try to find a good place for it to live. Currently I'm thinking it needs to go somewhere down here where it's nice and hidden. I'll bring you guys in here so you can see a little bit. Alright, so we currently have our 3 provisions right here. I'm thinking about using this one right here since it's my only free one, and then mounting it to the throttle bracket here. This is a piece of angle iron that was just cut and welded to work, but if I bring a bracket off here, I should be able to tuck this down into there just like that. So something like that. No, it's kind of hard to see, just have to trust me. Here's the factory wiring off the Holley harness, so that'll actually reach right there as well, and that'll allow us to just 90 off of this fitting right into there. And so it should be a fairly simple install. We are going to be using black AN nylon lines to try to keep things clean in here. In some of the upcoming videos we are actually going to be going and redoing a good bit of these hoses to kind of tidy it up, hide it, and make it look a little better. So let me go ahead and start pulling this throttle cable bracket so that we can get it welded up and go from there. Alright, those of you in the comments critiquing my safety squints and my fabrication skills, go ahead. I am not a fabricator. I stick things together and I try to make things go fast safely. If my life depends on it, I don't weld it. But this little bracket here shouldn't be any problem. So we just traced out, made the template, cut it out. These 2 bolt holes will be where it bolts to. It'll just run some beads up here. We'll tack weld it right now, then go put it on the car and see how it fits. So let's go from there. Alright, so we got the bracket here done. This is it. Nothing too fancy. So looks like it'll fit. Just tuck right down in here. Bear with me, one hand. So it'll sit just like that. So let's get this finished welding up and get it painted and then throw it back in the car and start running some AN lines. Well, I just realized that I didn't get any of that on video. My bad. Just welded up this bracket, put a little paint on it. Just gonna, while we wait for that to dry, we're gonna go back over here, start looking at our fitting assortment here, start deciding what we're gonna try to fit. I just have a smorgasbord of old project fittings here, but I think we're going to end up coming off with this 6AN, probably a straight here to come off of there, and then Probably going to do a 90 off the top, and for the vent to the bottom, I'm not 100% sure yet. Maybe the swivel 90 and a 45. Let's start getting these put on there, and then I can give you guys a better look at what we're doing. This guy's definitely helping today. He's always helping, one way or another. So, pull this plug out. Something like that. Then just have a really short couple-inch hose. But let's get this thing back on here so that we can start running that hose and see where we go from there. Shake. Nope. Okay. And then start measuring out these lines. Alright, well, if we were going for the world record for shortest AN hose, probably most overkill, we would win. So let's take a look at what we got here. So I think this is going to be the run. It's a swivel 90 to another 90, and then to a 45, and the hose is going to be about 2 millimeters. So that should work right there. This one's just a 90. This is your vent to atmosphere. So this is likely going to go down and then be put on its own air filter down there, rather than drilling and tapping the intake tube over there. I think I'll just vent it to atmosphere, let it pull its own vacuum. I don't believe that'll cause any issues. If anyone else knows any different, feel free to let me know in the comments. But let me go ahead and get this hose cut here and get this made and bolted all together. All right, so we got the lines made, we got everything put on. I'll bring in here so you can take a look. Here's the final result. Just the world's shortest AN line right up here to this fitting here. This one's a little difficult to make, but we made it work. Goes down to the bottom here where the IACV is. When I realized I didn't really explain how an IACV works, I assume most of you know, but if you don't, there's a stepper motor that essentially lifts and lowers a plunge in there, and it's shaped with a bevel, kind of like a dreidel. And so there's a chamber in there that, as it goes up and down, it allows more air in or out this hole here. So it basically just, when it wants to shut off the IACV correction to like 0%, which I'll show you in the Holly screen here in a second, that means it's fully extended and closed, which means it's not allowing any air in. Essentially an IACV is like a controlled vacuum leak that allows your car to idle up or down depending what you need when it's cold or warm, etc. So that way you always get the perfect lopey idle. So that's essentially it right there. I'll go ahead and crank it here so you guys can see it working. Got it up
the temp. We're close to it. You'll see the IAC start to drop down as it starts to hold its idle. Ideally, you want to stay under 5% correction. If you can stay between like 0 and 2, you're doing pretty good.
All right, so now we just got a few interior things to tackle. I don't want to make this video too long, so we'll probably end it on that one and then do another video here for interior upgrades. I am waiting on a few more pieces, so we may be good to put that all in the same video. But let me know if you have any questions about the IACV. Like I said, I'll put the link to in the description below where I got it from. And if you need any help, just let me know.